Lewis Hamilton has responded harshly to Wolff's comments regarding his shelf life that the Austrian believes the 7-time world champion is living, and it does indeed look like things are going to end on a sour note between these two. However, with Hamilton looking more than ready to win it all with Ferrari, and after the latest statements made from the Maranello team, could Mercedes regret letting Hamilton go so easily despite the confidence they have in their future? It's safe to say that Wolff's comments made towards Hamilton have sparked a big debate as to whether or not the Austrian team principal felt like Hamilton was too old for his job, and that's something that has aggravated a bit of an angry response from the 7-time world champion. When addressing the situation regarding him having a shelf life and the team having to look to the future, similar to how coaches like Guardiola and Ferguson have had to do with their squads, Hamilton said, "I think just me being here, standing tall, I feel strong. I've been training well. Honestly, I feel like I'm in the best place I've been mentally, and considering how bad the last race was, I think that says enough. I've been around this game for a long time. There's been so many things that have been said about me. There's been so many microaggressions, not from my boss because he's been supportive, but in general within the media. Nothing can take me down. I'm still here, I'm fighting, and I'm going to continue to push." While Hamilton specified that he has no issue with Wolff, the comments of the Austrian have been loud and clear. He said that he knew that there would come a time where Hamilton would leave. It's just that the fact that his actions have caught him unprepared and he missed out on negotiating with drivers like Norris and Leclerc. But the move that Mercedes did, promoting Antonelli, who at that time was at F3, directly to F2 and now in F1, goes to show that they've been quite desperate in this situation, and the value that Hamilton will take away from Mercedes is not something that you can just measure with results. What we are happy to hear is that Hamilton is in a great mental state, because this has been one of the most, if not the most, challenging seasons of his career. The man has gone through so much with the car, and the changes of the setup at the last minute and the silences that were present on the radio after races like Canada and Brazil have gone on to show the disappointment that Hamilton has with his team. Obviously, even the strategy in Singapore has brought massive question marks about whether or not the team are in fact sabotaging Hamilton just so that Russell can finish ahead of him in the Drivers' Championship, because he is the future of the team. And the comments from Wolff regarding the age of Hamilton and the direction that Mercedes have chosen to go have further fueled this fire. But it looks like Vasseur has a lot of hope in the 7-time world champion, and said that pursuing his signature was very easy once they presented him with the project that they had in their mind, which is likely to be from 2026 onwards. When talking about it, the team principal of Ferrari said, "It wasn't difficult to convince Hamilton to sign with us actually. Ferrari has always been in his thoughts in some ways, and now the stars have aligned, but he comes to win, not on vacation, and I'm convinced that we have everything to try. I'm not sure that Hamilton needs tons of hours of acclimatization. He is experienced enough to be quick on the first day, or at least very soon. We will have 1 or 2 tests of previous cars plus the test in Bahrain, and that will be enough. For sure, we have part of the team already focused on 2025, on the test plan, on the communication and so on, with Lewis being part of this, but when it comes to the race team, it's not on my mind." This is why the pressure has been mounted on the team principal of Mercedes in order to clarify the situation of letting go of Hamilton the way they did and accepting the circumstances of his departure. The Austrian, however, has explained himself a bit better in the latest statement he's addressed on this matter, and when talking about it, he said, "You know, my comments were taken a little bit out of context. What I was referring to was that all of us age, whether it is in the car, on a pitch, or as a manager or entrepreneur, and that is what I'm trying to do with myself. Understand, am I going from great to good? Because good is not in Formula 1 anymore." Now, contrary to my own self-assessment, I think we see with Lewis that he is very much there when the car is right, and we haven't been able to give him that car to perform his best, and that is a frustration that we share equally in the team and for himself. But he is very sharp. He is different to when he was a 20-year-old, that's certainly clear, but his experience and racecraft is tremendous. What is very interesting is the fact that despite this being labelled as one of the worst, if not the worst, seasons of his career, he still managed to win 2 races, with the most legendary win coming in Silverstone in front of his home crowd. Back then, the car started to look like some competitive machinery, but still the upgrades from Spa have made it work anti-clockwise, meaning that Mercedes are still in the unknown when it comes to the ground effect era. They might have to wait until 2026 before they compete at the front, and this is something that Hamilton might have had in mind before choosing Ferrari as his team, before even testing out the W15 in the pre-season, something that hurt Wolff a lot and something that might have activated the preferential treatment towards Russell in 2024. Of course, seeing Russell starting at the front row and leading the majority of the Brazilian GP while Hamilton was struggling to score points and was fighting rookies in the midfield has caused a lot of stir throughout the grid, and the cryptic message that Hamilton sent to his team, that if this is the last time that he's going to race with them, he's sorry that it's going to end this way, has been quite difficult to comprehend for the fans. But that doesn't mean the mission ends here. Hamilton hinted that he will stay in this sport for quite some time, and his statement as of now is that he will remain longer than Alonso, who is currently 44, although that wasn't what Hamilton was saying recently, where he even contemplated early retirement because of the situation he found himself in. When talking about the 2025 prospects of Ferrari, Leclerc said that he is adamant that they are the next world champion of the sport, which further bolsters the hope that there is an opportunity for Hamilton to win the 8th record-breaking championship that was taken away from him. And of course, there is always going to be a hope that Ferrari can turn things around and be a lot more competitive, similar to what they presented at the beginning of 2022 with the F175 before the upgrades and the strategy ruined any chance of fighting for any type of title. When talking about it, Leclerc said, "I feel like we are working well. However, it's a relative sport and it all depends on how well the others are doing as well. And they are doing super well for now. So we've got a lot of hard work to do in the next few years, but I believe in the project. I have to believe in the project 100%. And I'm sure that Ferrari is the next team that will be world champion. We've just got to keep working." What might hurt Mercedes in this situation is that Hamilton is leaving them at a very peculiar time, where they will likely see a massive exodus of not just technical staff, but also sponsorships and fans that supported Mercedes just because Hamilton was in the team. And the fact that it wasn't that hard to convince Hamilton to join Ferrari, as Vasseur said earlier in the video, goes to show that the mentality of the 7-time world champion hasn't changed, and he is here to win. The only question remains whether or not he will be competitive against Leclerc and make his new home his empire. With all this in mind, what do you think about the statements made from Hamilton's side towards Wolff? And more importantly, do you think that Mercedes will regret letting Hamilton go in such a way? Let us know in the comments below, and if you're interested in the latest early retirement bombshell made by Verstappen, make sure to check out the video that's appearing on your screen right now.